Hello, hello, it's June Olson with Junebug Creations, independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, coming to you live from Whitefish, Montana. Let's move that a little bit. There we go. That light overhead, but I need that light, right? So that we can see everything. How is everyone doing this morning? It is Wednesday, therefore it is Paper Pumpkin Playdate. Woohoo! I have two creations for you today, and I think you're gonna like them. My question for you was, on a scale of 1 to 10, how much do you like embossing folders? I feel like they really add a little zip to your cards, and so let's use some of those today. So today is Paper Pumpkin Playdate, like I said. Good morning, Covina. Nice to have you on here. Let's go ahead and switch cameras. All right, so Paper Pumpkin is, cat hair. Paper Pumpkin is a subscription kit. So we have the kit collection that has boxes that look like this. All right, they all come in boxes that look like this. And they are the kit collection, and they are available in the online exclusives only. They're not in catalogs. Paper Pumpkin is a monthly subscription box. All the kits, whether it's from the kit collection or this one, are all inclusive, which means everything, my camera seems weird, everything that you need to make the projects is in the box except for a pair of scissors. This is all you'll ever have to add to it to make the projects as designed. So the first time I'm on here with a new kit, I make the projects as designed to show you. Sometimes there's little tips and tricks and things that you can do to make your kit experience better. Good morning, Missy. Nice to have you on here. And then the rest of the time until the next new kit, I do alternates. Do you have to do alternates? No, you don't have to do alternates. It's only if you want to do something. Some people like just doing what's in the kit, and that is perfectly awesome because that's what it's designed to be, so that you can create things and not have to think and come up with other ideas. I do the thinking for you. I come up with some ideas. If you don't like those ideas, you don't have to do those ideas, and it's a-okay. So scissors are all you have to add to any kit. The Paper Pumpkin comes to your mailbox once a month. The subscription period ends on October 10th, on the 10th of each month. So for next month, this one is a nice kind of fall themed one. For next month, for November, it's going to be a Christmas one. Home for the Holidays, create sparkling Christmas cards with this kit. So you can see they're using the cards here as a little bit of decoration, but otherwise you'll be able to use them as cards. There's going to be some glitter glue in there to help us add some sparkle to the cards. So you need to subscribe by the 10th of October if you haven't yet. All right, so you want to double check. If you are a subscriber and you want to make sure you're going to get that kit, you just need to go into your Paper Pumpkin account and make sure that it's showing you getting the next kit. All right, some of you have done prepaid accounts. Make sure that your prepaid has not ended, okay? I think most of those roll into a monthly one, and if that's the case, I would recommend waiting until January when we do Celebration, and then redo your prepaid subscription, because then you get lots of extra bonuses for that and lots of extra free stuff. All right, so let's open this one. This one has been a very beautiful one. It was designed by the co-founder of Stampin' Up!, Shelly Gardner, and she always comes up with such elegant stuff. All right, so each kit comes with an ink spot to use. All you do is break the seal here and pull this off, and then you can use it to dab onto your stamps to ink them. I save these because I give them away to people who bring friends to classes, and then I'm using the regular size one. So you can see this is the ink spot, this is the Stampin' Pad. All right, so I like to use this for just the ease of showing you how to do stuff. You also get a block in your very first Paper Pumpkin kit to use for all the rest of your kits. When you get a kit collection kit, you get a block in each kit. Now, you can see these are kind of thin, so I like to bring in my ergonomic blocks. They're a little bit thicker and lots of different sizes so that I don't have to keep changing out. But what you can do if you have other kits is you can glue these together so that you have a little bit of a thicker block, because you can see how your fingers hang over. So you have to, when you use this one, you want to be careful and do it like that so that you're not getting your fingers. Well, I guess with the ink spot, you wouldn't get your fingers in the ink because you'll put your stamp on here and then you'll ink it up. I just like to use the bigger blocks because then I don't have to worry about getting ink all over my fingers. All right, and then we have our photopolymer stamps. Every stamp set comes with a photopolymer stamp set, sometimes two, depending. We had one this summer that came with two. We had one earlier this year in March when they do their birthday kit or their anniversary kit. And then you got two stamp sets too. So sometimes you even get two ink spots. It just depends on what the projects are and what it requires. So sometimes you get two of these. Some of the kit collections come with two ink spots, some just one. They all come with just one photopolymer stamp set, and they are exclusive to Paper Pumpkin, these stamp sets. You can't buy them anywhere else. Same with the kit collection. They are exclusive to the kit collection. You can't buy the stamps elsewhere, at least not legally. All right, so we've got some online businesses that tend to sell things that they are not legally allowed to sell. So just be careful with that if you're looking online. On the instructions in the back, it shows you the ingredients. It gives you some ideas for some alternates. It tells you the colors that coordinate, where else you can find more information. These are no-fail instructions. In other words, they are so clear and easy to follow. You won't be able to, I'm not going to say you won't be able to make a mistake, because I make plenty of mistakes, but they're easy to follow if you actually look at the pictures. So we have two different projects. So these are the ingredients that go with one project. These are the ingredients that go with the other. And then this is how you put it all together. Now these instructions are a little bit lacking, I think, in how to put it together. I would highly recommend when you do the bags that you they're already scored, that you fold each of the lines before you put it all together. That will help you in putting it together. And then make sure you look at these pictures clearly for where to put your tear and tape. All right. The little hexagons are your dimensionals, and the little black dots are your glue dots, or the dark gray dots. So the projects as designed looked like this. This was one of them, the little card. And this is a cute little envelope. All right. And then the other one was this bag. All right. And so what I did is I've been keeping this inside to help protect it. And then when you put stuff inside the bag, then you would do this with it. All right. So then last week we did some alternates. So I did an alternate card, and we did this. These are the card and envelopes. Oh, I don't have the name with me. They're the card bases. They're in the new fall minis, so that you can get these, and then all you have to do is add a few things, and it just came out really pretty and very elegant looking. These are going to be great for Christmas cards as well. And then we have the other bag that I did is I decided to stamp it. I ended up stamping it on both sides just because I stamped the back side on accident at first, and then created a little bit of a different tag right here. All right, like that. Now I'm thinking of making a bunch of these bags for Kitar's coaches for when we go at the end of the month. We'll be going to Ohio to the University for Parents and Family Weekend, and I'm thinking of actually making a few of these things, or maybe even some past kits, treats and things for his coaches. I don't know what they'll think of that, but that's okay. it's all right. So these are the extras, and then I still have plenty of stuff in there. I'm going to go ahead and pull out my adhesives. So we have 3 different kinds of adhesives in here. This is the Terran tape. This is the dimensionals, and these are the glue dots, all right? One way to help make these a little bit easier to use is to have your take your pick tool. So you'll see me use that a lot. So I've already pulled out what I need from here. So I'm going to set these inside. Oh, except I need my cardboard. You want to keep your chipboard because you can see I use it for stamping. And then because there's no cushion on these stamps, I use it to help with that cushioning. All right, so the first card we're going to make is this one. All right, I'll show you how I did this. So we have, I'm going to take this envelope, and then this envelope is for actually putting the card in. I'm going to, this one I used 2 of the smaller gold leafings. This one I'm going to use this one, and I'm just going to cut it and use it that way instead, so that I'm not too far, you know, using so many of these that I don't have enough to do other projects. So, and then I'm adding the linen thread to the mix as well. Let's go ahead and stamp our little thank you right here. When you want to pick up the stamps or put them on blocks, it's best to lay it down like that and then pick it up with the block like this. All right, we're going to go ahead and use the Lost Lagoon and ink it up. Now if you're using the ink spot, you want to use the ink spot to ink your stamp. All right, when you have the larger pad, then you use the stamp to ink. Excuse me. I have not talked much this morning. Here we go. I'm just going to kind of hold it there to make sure the ink sinks in. You want to make sure not to rock it around because that will mess up your stamping. All right, so we have the thank you. I'm going to set that aside, set this aside, set this aside. I'm going to go ahead and fold this over and use my bone folder for that. All right, and set this aside. And now I'm going to take this and my trimmer, and we're going to trim off so that we can open it up. You can tear this open, but this side is not decorated, so I'm just going to trim it off. So let's see. Did I measure that? Let's see. These cards are 3.5 by 3.5, so I need my envelope to eventually cut down to 3.25. So I'm going to take off some on this side, and then I'm going to shift down here because I like a nice flat edge, and go to the 3.25 and take off this side. And now this opens up, and I see I don't need this part, so I'm going to trim that off. And then I'm going to trim this at 3.25 also, so that I have another square and I have a nice border around this. All right, and then you can use this. I use this on here, but decided I'm not sure I really like that, so I'm just going to leave this. I might use it for something else another time. But I have this, and what I'm going to do with this is run it through an embossing folder, and I am using the time-worn type, and I'm going to set that in there like that. Then we'll bring in our Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. And I use this little rubber shelf liner to keep it from zipping all over the counter. All right, so how many of you have troubles with your Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine sliding around on your table when you're using it? say trouble if you have trouble with that. And then here is a great solution that I got from my friend Tina, and it works beautifully because it doesn't slide all over the place anymore. All right, so we'll move that out of the way. And then we have it looking like this. So isn't that cool? That looks so awesome. I love how that looks. It just gives it a nice worn look, which is why they call it type worn. All right, so now we're going to bring this in and we're going to go ahead and put it, so I guess I made that other one smaller. Where's my card? I did. I made that one a little smaller, but that's okay. I just wanted to have a border. So instead of using these adhesives, I'm just going to go with my green glue, because yeah, we all love green glue. Well, no, we don't all. There's like a little war between green glue and Stampin' Seal. But for the purpose of today, I'm going to go ahead and use my green glue. Brand new, so it should come out nicely. I do have one that I've got started, but I've been fighting with it and just don't feel like fighting with it this morning. So take this, turn it over. You don't need a ton of glue. A little bit of glue goes a long way. All right, here we go. So today's Wednesday. Did you know it was National Taco Day? So it's not Tuesday. Are you having tacos today because it's National Taco Day? I am seriously considering it because I do like tacos. Being from Arizona, I do like tacos a lot. All right, so now this is too big. I don't want to have this whole thing there. So I need to take my scissors and snip this down a little bit. So I'm going to snip right here, and that way that comes off. But I'm not going to throw it away, I'm just going to add it. So I want to just take off these little extras there and here. All right, like that. I guess y'all should be saying, June, zoom it in, we can't see. Here we go. All right, so now I just have this, but I can still use it to add a little extra to it. All right, so I'm going to put this one here and this one there. Just give it a little bit more dimension. We're going to turn these over and we're going to go ahead and use the glue dots and our take your pick tool, because when it comes to glue dots and take your pick tool, they go together and it's hard to not. So green glue versus Stampin' Seal, they both have their time and place. I agree, Missy. I really do. There are some times when I want the Stampin' Seal. When I scrapbook, I use the Stampin' Seal. I don't want to use liquid glue on my pictures. I just have an aversion to that. So I don't use that. I don't use the green glue on scrapbooking at all. I pretty much just use the Stampin' Seal. And then there's certain times if I have lots of big pieces that it's just nice and easy, because with the Stampin' Seal you don't have to go along the whole edge. When I use the Stampin' Seal, I just do one line this way, one line this way, one line this way, and one line this way. And if it's a really big piece, then I'll do a diagonal across the middle. When you're using the green glue, you kind of have to go all the way around to make sure, because it's just sticks better that way. You don't have to use a lot. I have some people who make a big old puddle of glue. We don't want puddles. No puddles. That's a little too much. But a nice little thin line all the way around, and then depending on the size of maybe a squiggle in the middle works and will hold everything just fine. When it comes to ribbon, I don't like to use liquid glue. To me, it soaks through. So I like to use the Stampin' Seal for ribbon. So you're right, there is a time and place, and even those people who are die-hard green glue or die-hard Stampin' Seal, they also, you will find, will periodically, for certain things, use the other. So it just, on a regular basis, it's just a preference thing. And I just find that the green glue is a little bit easier to use on a regular basis. All right, so I'm going to set this one here kind of at an angle. And you notice I only did 3 dots. And I'm going to set this one here at an angle. And I only did 2 dots. I don't remember where, so I'm pushing down on both. And then I'm going to bring in dimensionals, but this is pretty wide. They did give us some minis, but those are pretty small. So I like to use my bigger ones when it's something where the big ones will actually fit. So I'm going to do a dimensional on each end of this, like that, and then do that across here, like that. And then I wanted to just have a little bow. I just felt like it was missing something. So we're going to bring in a little bit of linen thread and make a small bow. All right, I know some people are groaning right now because they're like, June, not a bow, I can't do a bow. Yes, you can. It just takes practice. All right, so a little bow like that. Trim that off. And then we'll take a glue dot like that. I'm going to put it right there at the end. Take that off, and I'm going to kind of roll it up because I don't need that whole big old dot. I'm going to roll it up right there like that, and then I'm going to stick my bow on there like that. And so there we have that card. So you can see I used the 2 smaller gold leafings here, and then I used the big one, but I cut it. They still look very similar. You really can't tell the difference, okay? So, and this one has, so I cut this one a little bit smaller so it has more of a border, and this one is a little bit bigger so it has less of a border. It's really a preference thing, or in this case for me, it's a, oops, I forgot to pay attention to my measurements thing. But it's okay because it's still worked out. It adds a little bit of flair to the card, having that background. All right, so that is project number 1 for today. Let me set that right there. Now the next one, I brought in a bunch of outside things because it's just the mood I was in last night. And here is this card. So I'm going to show you how I made that card. So I'm going to bring in what I used. So I have the pecan pie bordered ribbon. All right, it's a nice neutrally kind of ribbon. Have the heater on, but I'm getting a little bit too warm. So I'm also bringing in some copper clay and some pecan pie. I don't remember where. Oh, that's for the pumpkin. All right, so we have this. So what I did is I already embossed this with the cane weave folder. All right, it's the cane weave 3D folder. So I went ahead and already embossed that. This is a 4 by 5 1/4 piece, so that it is a perfect front for this. All right, then what we need to do is I already cut one of these cards in half. All right, because that's what I used over here. So I cut this card in half, and then what I need to do is I need to cut off this right here. All right, so I'm going to put it down here, and I want to just cut off that flap. I know it's gonna make these bags have to be something else. So for next week's projects, I'll probably be using these bags to make something else because now I have a bag without a top. All right, so let me just make sure This one has a little bit of an edge from where the score line was, so I'm just going to take that off real quick. All right, so we'll put that away. Okay, so this will be going on here. But before I do that, I want to run this one through the time worn embossing folder as well. So we're mixing up our embossing folders today. We have the cane weave for one, and then we have the time worn type for another. All right, so we're going to put that through there. I guess I could have already done that one too. I was trying to save some time. Forgot to do the other one. All right, so let me get this out of the way. I do like having this new space where I have lots of room for my lives, for all my stuff. And so far, knock on wood, we have I've not forgotten anything. All right, so what we're going to do here, now I did not emboss this because it's already got some texture look to it. If I'd had the an old one that we used to have, a previous one, it would have had this same pattern. I would have used it, but I didn't want to take away from this pattern. So we're going to put this on here, but we're going to use dimensionals to do it. So let me just put our dimensionals, and I'm using my larger dimensionals because it's a larger piece. You wouldn't want to necessarily use the minis unless that's all you have. Then you would use your minis because that's what you would have to work with. All right, and I'll just put one here and here just to make sure there's no sagging. All right, so we'll do that. I have myself a little trash can over here, and yet I still finding myself put it there. Oop. All right, so we're going to set this up here against the top like that. Okay, and then I'm going to take my pumpkin and my leaves, and because this is not the card, I can go over the edge, so I wanted to have this up here. So I'm going to put glue on the back of them, but you can see where I have it over, falling over, I don't want to put glue back there. So I'm just going to put glue down here. And you can see I'm not even using a ton. You don't need a puddle. Just a little bit will do you. All right. And then I want this like that. So then I want to just kind of hold it there. All right. All right, you're getting a little better. You've even made the during the lights. Oh, with the bows, that's awesome. Yeah, it just takes practice. And of course, if you have a live and it goofs up, it's because you're live. That's just the way it goes. I'm sorry to tell you that, Missy, but you tend to have goof ups during lives. All right, so I'm going to do a thank you again in the center here. All right, with the Lost Lagoon. And then we will put this together. So we're going to start with this layer. And then what we want to do is our ribbon first. So I'm actually going to tie the bow around here. Now sometimes what I do is I'll cheat and I'll just do let's see, no, that's more for a knot. Never mind, I'm not even going to go there with you because I'm going to end up confusing you. Never mind. So we're going to wrap this around here like this, not too far down but not too far up, so below center. And then we're just going to tie a little bow, cut off enough. Usually I tie it with it already attached, but I can tell my fingers. So I want to pull this over here to the side, but I don't want my paper to curl, so you want to be careful with that. And then we're going to tie our bow. our bow, pull it through. There we go. Oop. See, you just never know when it's going to work perfectly or not, and that is not working out. So one of the ways to help with that, let's try this. Do it this way. One of the ways to help with tying a bow is to put a glue dot under there. So I'm going to take a glue dot and put it under there, like that. And that just kind of holds it in place. It works really, really well when you have, oh, I can see, one is longer than the other. That's part of the problem. When you have baker's twine, that works really well as also to use. All right, so we have that. All right, and then let's see. There we go. All right. Maybe I cut that a little too small. So that's a lot of times why I don't cut the ribbon until I've done the bow. There we go. All right. Now we've got that laying down. All right. So with this kind of ribbon, this is going to be a little bulkier. So you're going to, if you're mailing it, you're going to have to pay that extra postage for it. So when I have bulky cards like this, these are the ones I tend to give to people versus mailing to people. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to be sticking this down past the bow. Oh, that glue dot. That's not going to work. So you're going to have to lift the bow off the glue dot to get that down, and you're going to kind of center it top to bottom and side to side. So we need to put our glue on here. And because it's embossed, you want to make sure to have enough glue so that it gets down in there. But you can still see I don't have a lake on my paper, okay? I don't have a lake. You don't need a lake to make it stick. All right, I still have some people who do lakes. You just want to be careful with that. All right, so this edge and this edge, I want about equal. All right, so we have embossing, gluing to embossing. That's why you want to have a little bit more glue than you might normally do, but you still don't need a lake. All right, then we're going to put dimensionals, oh my words, dimensionals on here. All right, and then like that. All right, and now we're going to put glue on here. And because it's a big surface and it's got the embossing, you can see I'm using a little bit more than normal, but still it's not a lake. All right, we really, truly, truly don't need a lake. All right, so then we're going to take our card that is 4 1/4 by 11 and need to burnish that. Flip this over. Notice I didn't put glue on the ribbon. You have it everywhere else. You don't really need it on the ribbon. And then you want to just put that down. Oh, huh. All right, so this one I did dimensionals under here. Oh well, that's okay. So instead of doing glue on this, I did dimensionals. You can see I use the outside edges. That's why I don't have any more outside edges on here. See, that's what I get for not looking back at my card. So I use dimensionals on here. I think I like it better. You can see the difference. I like it better with the dimensionals on it. But that's okay. It is what it is. And then we will stamp the inside of the card. And first we will stamp it in the copper clay. So we need our pumpkin and our little stem. So pick up our stem with our little block, pick up our pumpkin with our bigger block. What we're going to do is ink it, stamp off once, and then stamp here. Gives it a lighter color, not quite as dark. And then, I probably could have stamped off twice or stamped off a little bit more. Then we'll use the pecan pie for the stump. There we go. Yep, that's a lot darker too. I guess I stamped off, well no, I guess it lightens up as it dries. So it's dry to the touch, but it's not dry as in dried in and soaked into the paper completely. So now we'll go ahead and put our glue around the edges like this. So I tend not to do the little S in the center with the glue when it's the inside, because when you write on this glue, you can feel the bump of where it dries, because it dries and it doesn't necessarily flatten out. All right. All right, see, no ink on there. All right, so that we need to do another pumpkin on here. We'll do our copper clay first on our envelope. There we go. And then for our stem, the pecan pie. There we go. And now you have a second card. Pulling in some other stuff. Okay, granted, it's not all from what's in the kit, but that's okay. If you don't have other stuff, then you don't have to use other stuff. I'm going to show both of these cards just because this one is the flat one and this one is the one where it is popped up. And I mean, you can see the difference. This has a little bit of a shadow. It looks a little more textured, and so I think it looks better than this one. But if you don't have enough dimensionals to do that, this one works too. All right, so there's that. And then we did this card. All right, let me zoom out for you. All right, so there we go. We have our different cards, alternates that you can do with this kit if you so choose. All right. Thank you, Missy. Thank you. I think they came out good. Again, I like this one better with the dimensionals underneath this layer versus having it flat, but either one works. And this ribbon is, it's a little bulky for the bow. So just make sure if you use ribbon and it's bulky like that, make sure you use that butterfly stamp. The yellow butterfly is the one for handmade cards where there's some bulk to it. All right. Thank you, Covina. All right. Yep, I got to run too. I have a chiropractor to get to. So have a great rest of your Wednesday, and I will see you back here. Oh, one more reminder of Saturday is World Card Making Day. If you want to register for that, go ahead and put World Card Making Day below and I will get you registered. Here are the sneak peek of the cards for October Card Club. All right, there's 1, 2, and 3. And this is a gift card holder. So if you want in, you need to register for the card club by October 8th, which is Sunday, because I need to place the order on Monday, and we'll be using these masks. Oops, you don't want to see that. We'll be using these masks, all right, to make those cards. I don't know what's going on with my light. And so if you want to get in on Card Club, go ahead and put Card Club down below. And then I was going to show you the cards, the alternate cards for the Christmas kit. So the Christmas kit for October is the Christmas Everywhere kit, because of the festive tags one is currently unavailable. So I switched it to this kit, and I just wanted to show you, these are the cards from the kit. There's that one, and that one. And then the alternates are this one using the stamps, this one using the palm trees, and then this one using the cactus. So if you're interested in the Christmas card, excuse me, Christmas Kit Club, this class will be on October 21st at 3 p.m. Mountain Time. So that's $10 plus the kit. So just put Christmas down below and I will get you that information. And last but not least, Ghouls Night Out on October 13th. It's Friday the 13th. I'll be making projects using the Tricks and Treats, using the stencils or the masks, which are called the Artistic Mix decorative masks, the sketched plaid, and the autumn leaves. So we have some projects from that coming that I will show you how to make on that day. If you don't have any of those sets, you can just stamp along with me and make whatever you want to make. So have a great rest of your Wednesday, and I will see you back here. Oh, I might pop in on Friday for a fun fold. I'm thinking about it. I've got one planned. I just got to look at my schedule. So I'll see you again soon, but I'll give you a heads up. Don't forget, tomorrow actually is the drawing for the Name That Tool game from Sunday. So make sure you find that post from Sunday, Name That Tool, and get your answers in so you can get into the drawing for some Stampin' Up! Goodies. All right, everybody, have a great rest of your day. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.